It's recording now.
No worries.
Welcome to Work of the Left Side, the Underground, with me, Ryan Palmer, and Mick Carney.
Hello.
Say hello, Mick.
Hello.
Tonight it's just the two of us, as the song goes, just the two of us.
Some people selfishly having exams and birthdays and stuff. Yeah, happy birthday, Nick. Going out and getting drunk and drinking brown ale. Who do you think you are?
He's drinking Brunel.
God. You now won't touch that stuff.
It's popular in the States, apparently, which is really strange. Gosh. Yeah, speaking of the States, we were just discussing offline the releases of several WWE superstars. Braun Strowman, Ruby Riott, Aleister Black, Buddy Murphy, fucking hell. Who else was
Lana.
there? Oh, yeah, Lana as well. God.
Santana Garrett as well.
Santana Garrett. That's terrible.
But why was she in the same list as them? I would have thought. It's like all these ones, and then it's like Santana. Oh yeah, she was there.
She was a trainer in NXT, and she's pretty good. Or is she?
Yeah.
Am I thinking the same person? I don't know.
But no, like I was saying, I mean, there was so many of them there where they'd started stuff with them, and just absolutely no payoff with them. I suppose the only one who, when he got anything, was Braun. Got at least that one title reign.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, they just started Aleister Black back. All those promos, one time in the ring, get rid of him. Ruby Riott, I mean, how good is she? How good is she? And then it's just like, how can you not know how to use her?
Exactly.
It blows my mind. And then all the stuff with Lana.
Mm-hmm.
They had her down as the next big underdog in the women's division. Nia Jackson's bloody thingy, just putting her through tables constantly, all the time, and then just no payoff.
I know, that's just horrible. Zero payoff to it.
Yeah, on this show, we get one of the worst storylines ever and one of the best payoffs at the end of the whole storyline. So,
are you referring to Stephanie and Trish?
Yeah. Because I think was it James in the chat said something like the single most horrendous or horrific storyline he's ever seen, with one of the most perfect payoffs has ever been with Linda.
Zombie Linda.
Yeah.
Locked in a fucking sanitary.
At least you got round to watching the correct show anyway, so.
Oh, God.
Not 2005.
Not 2005. Like, several lines down, half a page full of notes. And thinking, fuck, I better check I'm looking at the right one. Oop! God, man. Like it was a good few days ago.
Yeah. I know it was for me when I started watching it. It's what all my trips to and from work have been, watching bits of it and just trying to piece it together now in my head. If you see him glancing down at my other phone, my work phone, that's because I'm looking back and seeing what the running list was again.
I can tell you, it's
nightmare.
It's the one that's headlined by, you got The Rock versus Kurt Angle, and you've got the
three stages of
hell. Yes, between Austin and Triple H. You never saw it coming. It was me all along, Austin. I think it was like days away from when he debuted the game entrance music, because he was still.
Yeah, it was the old one that Stephanie comes out to, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. My Time. He was in some sort of like hybrid of My Time and the game, because it was like My Time was no lyrics, but to the sort of tune remix of the game. And then suddenly on the SmackDown or Raw, where he's cutting the promo against Austin, saying, "Oh, it was me all along. You never saw it coming." And then that, "You're all at the game," and I play it. It's like, whoa, that new entrance seems fucking deaf, man. Yeah.
That was when storylines were actually, they kept them going for ages, because we think how long that storyline went on for the whole. I think it was about a year and a half, because it was Survivor Series in 99, was it?
Yes, 99.
99, where Rikishi run him over. Then Survivor Series 2000 was where they had the match, and that the one where Austin drops him from the forklift.
Yes, it was.
Which which basically is attempted murder.
It's attempted murder.
Twice, basically, both of them have, so.
And he comes back on the next Raw, and there's nothing wrong with him.
Nothing wrong. What's great as well is as the car's falling on that as well, you hear him just yelling obscenities, but with no fear, and he's just calling Austin names. It's like, Austin, you're gonna regret it. You're gonna regret it. But the car's already falling. So you'd be screaming your tits off if you're inside that car, mate. I know I would. And then obviously it goes on for a while. But what I did notice about the show first off, was I didn't realize that it was the last pay-per-view before WrestleMania 17. And other than obviously what happens in the main event, there's absolutely no setup that I could see really for WrestleMania.
No, there's not. No.
Remember, looking back, thinking about what was it, WrestleMania 17, you had Triple H against The Undertaker, nothing on that. Obviously, Rock and Austin, there was mentions of that, but they were in different feuds, different matches. You had the hardcore match, I suppose, which had Raven and Big Show in, but then Kane got chucked into it. But then there's no real payoff towards, like, so you wouldn't think you were on that last step and last road to WrestleMania and stuff like that. Going in or coming out of that pay-per-view.
They must have all just saved up at the Royal Rumble and then just kicked it off all from then.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to watch how much of it kicked off in the Raws and SmackDowns and stuff, because they must have been, they were almost have been quite short storylines based on that pay-per-view, and then based on the matches that we had actually at the show. There couldn't have been that much actually involved in them.
Yeah, they must have, as I say, it must have just back then the TVs definitely built to the pay-per-views instead of like now the TVs are just shit.
Yeah,
it's just nonsensical bullshit.
No idea when the last time I watched TV was.
You're not missing much, mate.
No,
don't stay away.
The 10-minute one, but yes.
As you alluded to, this one starts off with the hardcore title, Big Show versus Raven. Raven coming down to the ring with a shopping trolley full of goodies, this big stop sign, wet paint or wet floor sign, a dustbin full of kendo sticks and shit.
I think the wet floor sign, they were putting that out for next to the King for later on in the show. Oh, when he was having an accident.
Ooh, the cat. Ooh.
Yeah. And then the Big Show come out, and there was a random female ninja.
Yeah.
Which I can't remember that at
all.
I don't remember who it was.
It turned out to be Tori Wilson. Not Tori Wilson, Tori.
Tori.
I think. I'm sure it was Tori that it turned out to be. Why? Yeah, I can't remember why.
Because she was still there.
She was still there. She's been fucked by X-Pac, so sling her in this storyline with it.
Yeah.
It was weird. She just used to just come out on various shows and screw other people over while he was there. Yeah. Just like, what the fuck? So Raven just gets flung about and beaten up in this match.
Which is what you would expect in fairness. And then I think, is it Crash Holly's the first one to come out dressed as a popcorn vendor? Yeah.
He's completely unrecognisable.
And so one of them just goes, hold on, that's Crash Holly.
That's Crash Holly.
Crash is like so ahead of the time. He's trying to win the hardcore title 24/7 style. He's trying to win with schoolboys constantly, no weapons. He's just trying to do the schoolboy roll up to get that. And it's just like, no. You're 20 years ahead of the game, mate. That's how you win a title now in 2021. And then you get, I think it's a hardcore Holly after that out, and then Blackman Billy as well.
Steve Blackman, Billy Gunn. What the fuck's going on?
It just goes crazy, and then I think Billy Gunn wins it first.
Yeah, he does.
And doing a tag team move, I think, as well. With I think told him and Hardcore Holly do like a version of Demolition's all finish up it with a leg drop instead of the elbow drop.
Yeah,
so he wins it with that somehow. So Hardcore Holly stands there, watches him win it, and then decides to attack him.
Molly Holly is in this match as well. I'm sure she comes out.
As you can tell, it's a very memorable one because how much shit they tried to throw into it.
Yeah, they definitely did a demolition leg drop.
Back break, like sort of line across the knees, like
yes, instead of the elbow. I just what the fuck? So that happens. Molly Holly comes out, then the Ninja Woman comes back out. They have a fucking fight.
King probably yells puppies.
King's getting an erection under the fucking table.
Jim Ross is trying to set up the wet floor sign.
Crash Holly just gets thrown about the ring by Big Show. He's like 20 feet in the air or some shit. Fucking Raven gets choke slammed on the trash can, and you just hear him go. Oh!
Yeah, you can actually hear the pain.
Yes. It's just like, oh fuck, he's broken something there. But I think it's just mad selling. It's just really good selling. I don't remember him being too majorly injured from this, but it is a blood curdling.
Because then I think does a Big Show pin him or something, wins the title, but then just decides, looks outside and
beats
sees Billy Gunn there.
Else.
So he just starts absolutely destroying Billy Gunn, throwing him at the ring post and everything like that. And then he's just like, oh, well, I've won. Yeah, and just walked away.
It's his own fault because Billy Gunn just goes for afters. After he's pinned Raven, Billy Gunn just goes after Big Show. Big Show beats up Billy Gunn after the match outside the ring. Big Show just says, yeah, I've already won. Takes his belt and leaves.
But no, it done what the hardcore thing was always meant to do. In fairness, so
yes, it did,
and it did put quite a lot in it at the time as well, and it got Raven on the TV as well, which was the main thing. Which it would have been nice to have seen Raven not be against Big Show and Kane and stuff like that, because realistically, that title's not one that they at that time should have been in the mixer for.
Nah.
It just seemed a bit weird. I mean, obviously 17, they have an awesome triple threat match. That hardcore triple threat is amazing at WrestleMania 17, where they get thrown through windows and everything.
And he nearly cuts off the power.
Yeah.
The golf cart drives over the main power cable. Fucking hell.
But no, I did feel for Raven in there because it was his thing. But he was a good version of was it Norman Smiley who kept doing it at WCW, I think, with a hardcore title, where he was always involved in the picture.
The big wiggle.
Yeah.
Big wiggle. Fucking hell. So we get, after this, we get an Angle interviewed by Kevin Kelly, slagging off the Las Vegas natives as losers and The Rock as a loser.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty funny interview. Then we get the next match, Jericho versus X-Pac versus Chris Benoit versus Eddie Guerrero for the fucking.
So isn't there an interview as well with Eddie and Benoit or something like that? And you just see already in Eddie's eyes, it's like, I'm gonna fuck you over with those fans I get and everything.
They're all like, yeah, we're gonna be team together. And if it comes down to it, we're gonna go at each other. Yeah. But
because I was found it a bit confusing, obviously, with X-Pac being involved in the fold. I don't remember him being that heavily involved in it, but he was actually a really good addition to the match.
Yes, he was. This is again one of those like low-key matches that are pretty damn surprising.
Yeah.
Once you go back and watch it for a second time. I hadn't seen this in fucking years.
No,
it's like
I hadn't remembered this match, but it was a really good match. It was just one of those ones where it just kept going and going. You didn't know where the finish was going to come from, because it just always seemed to be that point where one person made enough for recovery.
Yeah.
Just, excuse me, to break up the pinfall and stuff, which was really good. I mean, I loved the spot as well with Jericho with the 4 walls, the 3 walls of Jericho.
Yes.
We just kept putting one person in it, saw the next person running towards him, so dropped that one and picked them up again. I thought it was brilliant. But I mean, Jericho at that time, his IC champion, he was untouchable. I thought he was amazing. Yeah. It was just a perfect spot for him, especially with who he had to work with as well, because everyone who he worked with, he just raised them up a level, because you had like Eddie Guerrero, Benoit, X-Pac, And then you had people like Regal and stuff that was sniffing around and everything as well. Just everyone who was in that IC picture around the early 2000s. It was just amazing. You always knew you were going to get a good match for the IC title.
Oh, absolutely. Excellent. Like a good bunch of technical wrestlers in that mix.
Yeah. Yeah, you always knew that was going to be whatever was going to be on the card for the IC title. You knew you were going to be in for a good match on that one. And probably match of the night on them as well, most of the time.
Yeah. So X-Pac is in his. I think this is in the Uncle Cracker. He uses Uncle Cracker music.
Yeah, this is the beginning of the X Factor group,
Yes,
isn't it? But it's before Albert joins.
Just Incredible turns up later on.
But yeah, the old Uncle Cracker theme music.
I want everybody to there's a sign in the crowd shaped like a tooth. It says something about Benoit.
Is it not toothless aggression or something like that?
Says toothless aggression or Benoit's missing tooth. X-Pac does his karate stuff.
Yeah.
Spinning kicks.
Standard.
Gets taken out by Benoit and Eddie.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. At the start of the match, Benoit and Eddie do just complete. Because I thought the Radicals had split up well before this. In fairness, I didn't realize they were still going at this point.
Yeah, these were the only two real standouts of the Radicals.
No, and Perry Saturn's hat.
Oh yes, still can't forget that.
Don't forget Perry Saturn's hat round that time. Big white fluffy,
pimp hat. Fucking hell. So they're working together. They're working together in this match, Eddie and Chris Benoit, until a point where Eddie's going to make a pin, and Chris Benoit pulls him up, or the other way around.
Yeah.
In X-Pac gets slammed on the ground by Chris Benoit. He tells Eddie to go to the top rope to do like a move, and then he puts fucking X-Pac in the crossface.
Yeah.
And he's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Pretty decent double cross in fairness, that one. But
there's loads of excellent double crosses in this.
Yeah.
They're just like breaking up pins, and then they're just like, you fucking twat. They start fighting each other.
But again, it's one of those matches though as well where just Jericho seemed he just disappeared at times and stuff during the match as well, where they'd be beating on each other, where they'd just put him out of the ring and stuff, and he must be selling it fantastic outside the ring, or just having a fantastic lie down.
Yeah,
because and then he would just reappear, and then as I said, he just sort of he comes back into it a little bit. There's that moment, as I said, the moment with the three walls of Jericho on everyone.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else there was in it as well. There was something else with him as well. I can't remember what it is now. My head's gone completely blank. I think I need to drink more.
Yeah, as you say, Jericho just puts all three of them in the walls of Jericho. It's like he's got Benoit on the walls of Jericho. Eddie comes for him, drops Benoit, puts Eddie in the fucking walls of Jericho. X-Pac comes for him, he drops fucking Eddie, puts fucking X-Pac in the walls of Jericho. Absolutely tremendous spot.
Yeah.
And you get, as I say, Just Incredible just interrupts for some fucking reason.
Because he likes Uncle Cracker, that's why.
He likes Uncle Cracker.
He's like, I like that music. I'm going to start coming out with that.
There's a low blow by X-Pac on Jericho. I'm thinking, why is it not a fucking disqualification? Oh, because it's a fatal four-way, you fucking war. Eddie then hits a neck breaker on Chris Benoit as Benoit has another crossface on X-Pac.
Yeah, he does the flipping the front flip neck breaker thing, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's fucking a thing of beauty.
That is brutal. That thing,
absolute thing of beauty. Suplex into a flying headbutt by Benoit.
Yeah,
X-Pac spin kicks Benoit's head off.
Does his whole wah thing again, and then you get a random roll up.
Yes, all that for a fucking roll up win.
all that, but thankfully it wasn't Crash Holly this time.
No.
Jericho used a different type of roll up because Crash Holly used a a lot of number of schoolboys allowed in a wrestling show. So
they discussed it backstage. Which kind of roll up are you going to fucking use?
I can never remember the name of the one that he does, though, because it was the one Shawn Michaels used to use it quite a lot, wasn't it? The one where he jumps up and the feet hook under the arms and sort of pulls them back over.
Yeah.
But then he goes into a cool bridge as well on it, which I did like to add to it for the finish and everything. So, but no, we've done absolutely zero justice there in fairness, but it is an absolute top quality match, which is one of the best ones that it's certainly the best undercard match you're going to see at the night by a long way.
Absolutely. That was, I think for me, that was probably match of the night.
Yeah. Certainly up there. It's close to it, yeah. Trying to think what else there was from it as well. There was something else. It was certainly one of X-Pac's best matches that I remember seeing in Moon. I know he was in some good ones because he was around the cruiserweight in WCW. Yeah. But in WWE, he was always the smaller guy. And it was certainly one of his better ones that he had, definitely as X-Pac, that I remember him being in.
He's always... The rumor or the saying around that about that time was, if you can hang with X-Pac when you come into the company, you're gonna go far in the company. So it's just like, another sort of low key X-Pac stroke Sean Waltman stroke 1, 2, 3 kid match that I've
moment of fantasticness.
Yes. Like that Bret Hart fucking 1, 2, 3 kid match.
Yeah, I don't think even though the three he was in there with would have had a very good triple threat match, I don't think they would have had a match anywhere near as good as this one was without him in it.
Yeah, definitely. He's, for me, I'm going back and watching like these X-Pac matches with X-Pac in it. There's a brand new respect that I've got for him now. Yeah. It's just like, shit, he really was that good.
Yeah, there was a reason why the people who he was friends with were friends with him.
Yeah, made him look good
because he knew what he was doing, and he knew how to make his opponents look good. He knew exactly what to do.
Absolutely. I used to shit on him. I really fucking hate him.
So did I.
Twice.
So did I. I despised him at the time when I watched it. I couldn't stand him. I absolutely despised him. I just thought he was a little prick. I always thought he was an absolute waste of time. But now looking back, like you say, a whole new level of like sort of respect for him. I just think fantastic talent.
Yeah, he would take that X-Pac from then, put him in like the workhorse matches of now against the Omegas and the Bryans and the Rollins.
Imagine the matches he could have in NXT.
Oof, fucking hell.
X-Pac and NXT, the matches he probably still could, in fairness, because from what I hear and everything, he can still go. But X-Pac from then in NXT now would be, I think the matches you would have would be incredible. I think he'd be an NXT champion as well.
He probably would be him and Gargano.
Him and Cole as in part of a faction or something like that as well.
Oh. So next up, we get Vince lecturing William Regal.
You know what to do.
You know what to do,
William, you little tinker.
William clearly does not know what to do. He's just like, I don't know what to do.
Regal's comedic timing is brilliant. It's unbelievable. Especially when Vince gets up to leave at the end of it and he's like, no bloody idea what I'm going to do and stuff. It's just fantastic the way he just sort of like plays a bumbling idiot, basically. Yeah. It's like, what do I do?
What do I do?
And then we get Test afterwards as well, isn't it? In
WTLS
New York. Good old Test.
Shit. Buster Rhymes is there as well.
Yeah. Good old Test, though. You're the European champion. You've got a belt to defend, but nah, fuck it, we'll stick you in WWF New York. Buster Rhymes. I wish I'd went there, though. I would have loved to have gone just to see how terrible it was. I don't know what it is now, but
I wonder what it's probably a Gap or something. Benetton shop, you know,
or actually a Gap, just where the building's no longer there.
Knocked it down clean, like Fred West's old house. Knocked down clean.
Doesn't he drop the old trash bag hose line as well, though, one day? About which one, we can finally find out which one is the biggest trash bag or something.
One is the biggest bag hole?
It's like, the worst thing they could have done other than put you in a match was give you a microphone.
Yes. Don't ever put a microphone in. Well, you can't now because he's passed away, but bloody hell. Yeah. You should never have put a microphone in front of him.
No. And he couldn't. And again, he was another one, so much potential.
Yes.
Vince loved him as well.
Vince absolutely loved him.
Yeah.
Just couldn't talk.
And then from there, we have the recap of, as we said earlier, possibly the most just awful storylines ever. Mm-hmm. It's so degrading, and everything about it is so wrong.
Yeah.
Apart from the payoff at the end.
Why would you fucking do that with your own fam? Why would Linda take part in this? It's just like if they were acting, as in like if they kind of are playing roles, okay, but they're not. It's just like,
do you know what it is though as well? Is I remember a few years back there was a lot of controversy about David Beckham kissing his daughter on the lips and everything, but then watching that package back, knowing who Vince McMahon was. It just made my stomach turn watching him like kiss Stephanie on the lips and stuff like that as part of the thing. And I know it's his daughter and everything, but just knowing him, and it was just like it was just oh no, it just seemed so wrong. And the whole thing, it was just so playing to his ego massively. It's like sort of what can we do here? I know, let's have the new bird who's going to replace Sonny. Let's have her as my latest conquest and stuff. And it just played. It's all it done was to play to his ego.
Yep.
And I was like, just the massages, the bubble baths. Just. And I mean, this is Trish we're talking about. Don't get me wrong.
I know.
I'm not complaining, but in context, it's just there's just no need for it.
Drugged Linda. Linda's in a sanatorium. She's now zombie Linda. Dear, oh dear.
Oh, no.
Deplorable storyline.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
The match itself,
it's not actually that bad.
It's not too terrible. I can't fucking
considering Trish was still very early doors into her wrestling, and Steph didn't really wrestle.
No.
They give them about 15 minutes as well.
Yeah, it is a pretty long match. It's not all cat fighting and hair pulling and slaps.
You got your water jugs and stuff though, and everything like that. But
yeah, you had to have your wet t-shirt moment. Come on.
Yeah. But you've got Steph being thrown over the barricades and stuff, and doing an awful jumping clothesline off the barricade as well, which goes into a diving one. But realizes she's got no idea how to land, so she just does it and lands on her feet and then falls forward. But yeah, it's but no, like I say, it's not that bad a match from what I was expecting. Exactly what it was. But then you've got Jerry Lawler on commentary, just trying to make it as bad as possible. Don't get me wrong, I love the King. Legend, absolute legend, but oh god, no, I just didn't need him on this match.
No,
there's the way he's going. Like when Trish is doing a bulldog, it's like we're gonna call it a Trish dog. It's like that makes no sense at all, unless you're actually saying she's a dog. It's like what are you on about?
In overdrive in this match, he is fucking hell. He's gone for a whole box of Kleenex.
But even Jim Ross is making little comments with him and stuff. Like, so there's a bit where Trish's shorts come up and stuff, and he's there like going, "Hey, Trish has got the Rikishi look going on," and it's just like, "Oh God Almighty, man! Like, come on, JR, you're better than this."
Yeah. The decent enough. There's a funny topical sign in the ground that says Trish Lewinsky.
Yeah,
like Monica Lewinsky.
Yeah, and you've got the all the Trish the dish signs and stuff, and just saying, "Oh, wow, you fucking legends coming up with that one." Your mum and dad would have been proud there when you're out with the glitter paint spitting that one up. I'm going to wrestling. What you doing? I'm making a glitter sign.
Making a sign.
Oh, what you doing? Is it something clever? I'm going to rain Trish with dish.
Trish. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
however, not my favourite sign of the night. We'll get to that later on. the old, there's a Flintstones tribute sign later on in there.
I think I might have missed that one.
Oh, it's not really. It's Viva Rock Vegas.
It did say that.
Which is what I think was the second Flintstones one or something like those lines.
Viva Rock Vegas. It was the one without John Goodman in.
Yeah.
One with the substitute fucking actors in that one.
Some other guy.
Yes. So Regal comes down to the ring after.
Oh God, yeah, Regal in the match.
There's like a double down after Trish gets soaked with fucking water from the jug from the announce table. Regal's just tottering down to the ring, confused as fuck and bumbling his way to the ring. And he's just like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? Fucking Trish gets spanked as well. I remember that part. Fucking full on arse out and G-string on show. So back to Regal.
How dare they? You bastards!
You bastards!
And then we got Regal. I'm trying to remember how the bit with Steph comes about, where she's getting pinned.
He pulls the referee out the ring because they're both down. They go for like a flying hair mare. So they run to each other, grab each other's hair, bam, both on the deck. Referees are saying, "Oh, what's going on?" Regal comes out the ring, pulls the referee down. Referee's down from just being pulled off of his feet. He puts Trish onto Steph. Yeah. Ref recovers. Ref makes a 1-2 count, and then he puts fucking Steph's foot on the rope.
But then he doesn't tell the ref.
So then he stamps on the fucking ref, and the ref's just like, the ref's out again. Trish slaps Regal. Regal's having none of this. Puts Trish in that stretch move or whatever it's called, and pulls her down.
It's like the weird neck breaker thing that he done, which was an awesome move. Should know the name of it. Don't care. Sorry.
Sorry. It's not like the Regal stretch, because the Regal stretch was a submission
move. Yeah. So if you know the name, and we should know it, come at us. I don't care.
Come at me, bro. So that's how Steph goes onto Trish.
But Regal's whole selling it as well just before he hits her, where he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to kiss your hand," and then just bang, get out, love. Sit down.
Sit down.
It's like a night in the big market. Sit down, pet.
Sit down, pet.
Sit down. Steph gets the win.
Steph gets the fucking wins. Okay. I don't know. Was I supposed to be happy about that?
I don't know.
The whole story.
Because Steph was still heel at the time, wasn't she? She was with Triple H.
She was still with Triple H, but in this match, I think she was supposed to be a face. But Triple H is still a heel.
I know.
The dynamics are fucked up.
It was just really confusing. It was really confusing. Basically, awful storyline, not a bad match. Get the payoff at WrestleMania 17 in the street fight. That's all you need to know. The storyline, if you bear with the storyline, you get to the end of it at Mania 17, and the payoff's amazing. That's what you need to know.
Well.
That's what you need to know on that one. This was just a bump in the road going to it, which wasn't that bad. It was watchable.
Yes, it was actually watchable. Fuck.
Which, in 2001, if you told me you've got Steph against Trish Stratus, and they actually have a watchable match, then no, I'm good with that.
So then he gets Regal is cornered in the corridor.
No, we get a sick advert for WWE The Music, Volume 5, featuring The Rock's record debut, Pie.
Pie.
Not a tribute to Maths Geeks anyway.
Doesn't age too well.
No, God,
Slight
no.
racism in it.
No.
Oh, shit. Oops.
And I'm sorry, Rock, you're not as good at rapping as Cena. And that's saying a lot.
Oh, yes. Fucking hell. I've got that album. It's on Spotify anyway. So. Everyone's got that album.
Yeah. If you want to hear some mildly racist stuff, which really doesn't age well, listen to Pie.
Listen to Pie. Oh dear.
Yeah. And then, as I say, Vince is clearly not happy. Corners Regal and sets up a wonderful match for the next night on Raw, which unfortunately I haven't found the time to go and watch yet. It was cutting into me sitting time, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to have that. Where it's going to be Regal and Steph against Trish and Vince. Yeah. Well, and the King does all he can to try and sell that match, but no. You can sell burgers now, but you can't sell me that match. I'm sorry, no.
Yep. Skippable match. Easily skippable match.
And then we get the right to censor Prey? I think, is it next?
No. It's the video package for the 3 Stages of Hell.
So do we have 3? Oh yeah, 3 Stages of Hell is before the.
Yeah,
Jesus
before
Christ,
that one. So
yeah.
First match is a street fight. Well, break your bones.
Standard
that's it.
First one.
Standard match. Then the street fight.
You'd think we hadn't watched this properly.
Oh, no.
But yeah, no. The standard match was I'm going to break you mentally or something.
Yes. Yeah. No.
Street fight, I'm going to break you physically, and then.
Yep.
Well, no. If you've won 2 of them, you don't have to do anything to him in the cage. You've already won.
And if it's needed, I'm going to take you down in a steel cage. Or something. Oh, yes. So
but the build up to it, that month leading up to it, even just watching the package, it all come back to me remembering the kind of stuff that they've done to each other and everything like that. Sort of the whole contract where any physical contact and you're out the main event, and you're fired or whatever it is for Triple H, and Triple H batters him and stuff like that when they're signing the contract. I think, I didn't sign it.
I didn't sign.
No. Joke's on you. I didn't click the pen. The cleverest thing Triple H has ever done for back in 2001. And then just instead of beating each other up, Austin he beat up Steph.
Yes. And
then Triple H is a retaliation because obviously Austin had probably beat up. I'm not going to say that about Emma.
Shit.
He battered Jim Ross.
Yep.
As a retaliation, a nice retaliation there to it. Which and it was them literally trying to just basically get the other one to try and break, and oddly enough, when the contract says they can't, they didn't. And so we go into as I said, the 3 Stages of Hell match, which for me at the time, as it was the first one I think they'd had there, was totally unheard of and completely had me hooked as a sick way of finishing off the feud. It should be used, I think, more often.
Absolutely. You get Austin interviewed backstage by Michael Cole, and he delivers the most fantastic interview lines you've ever heard. Austin, are you ready to enter hell? Austin just stares him out. He just gives him the most evil looks. He just looks at him like a piece of shit that he is. It's just like.
But if you look at Michael Cole's hair during that thing with the frosted tips and stuff, he does look like the biggest piece of shit in the. Just looking at Michael Cole in 2001, it's so. Michael Cole is bad now. You look at him, it's just so cringy. But Michael Cole in 2001 with the frosted tips, and I'm sure I remember him at times rocking double denim all the time and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
It's just like everything about him was just completely uncool. I'd say, no, there's nothing about you that I can like. And I think Austin just delivered it perfectly just by not saying a thing. When he goes, "Are you ready to enter hell?" Fuck off.
What kind of fucking shit was that?
As if he's going to say no.
Fucking idiot.
Are you ready to enter hell? Oh shit! Is that tonight?
Oh no!
No,
I'm not ready.
no.
Shit!
Nobody told me.
I'm gonna have to fucking go home now.
Fucking hell.
Bollocks!
This is because I've been drinking again, isn't it?
Fucking hell, idiot!
I know. Oh,
Triple H
I'm loving how this is just becoming more of a recap of us just mocking people who we disliked back in 2001, and just the odd bit about the matches now, and then it's like, fuck it, Michael Cole, what a dickhead.
I still fucking wear it. That's the underground for you. Yeah, kids. That's the underground.
Nick will leave us two alone to do it.
Next week I'm sniffing glue.
Birthday.
Yes. Triple H uses the game. I think this is the first. I'm sure this is the first pay-per-view where this is used in.
Well, he actually uses Motorhead.
Yes, and I'm sure it was debuted on the SmackDown before or the Raw before that. Yeah, it's all about the game. I know you play.
Still going now. Still love that song now. Still love it.
Absolutely. Do all spit takes with all the water and everything. Yes.
But then what a comparison as well, because then we get Disturbed's version of Austin's music as well. So we got Disturbed in Motorhead. What more can you ask for just to lead you into a match?
2 huge pops from the crowd as well. They popped for Triple H and they popped huge for Austin.
Yeah.
Absolute thunderous ovation for Austin as he comes out.
You'd think the crowd knew they were in for something special. They knew they were. That was their mindset. That I was shocked it wasn't the main event.
Yes.
No offense to obviously the title match and stuff which comes later, but you've built up all that to have it in the middle of the card seems a bit weird, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because that's what the pay-per-view is known for, and it's what the pay-per-view I think was sold on as well.
Yeah.
Because going at this, I didn't even know it was Rock Kurt Angle in the main event. I'm not gonna lie. I picked this one when we said which one we're going to do next, and we said we'll put down the 5-0. I picked this one purely for this match.
Fair enough.
Because I thought this was the main event of it, and turns out it wasn't.
The fucking work rate on Austin in the first few minutes of this match is ridiculous. Yeah. It's like me and Nick, we did a spotlight episode on Bret Hart. One of the matches that we chose was Bret versus Austin, WrestleMania 13.
Yeah.
Where that match is just non-fucking stop. This starts like that, apart from going into the crowd or something. It's just Austin just his forward gear. He's just on Triple H. He's on him from the first minute of the match.
Yeah, it's almost at times though where he's trying a bit too hard. There's a couple of bits where it gets a little bit sloppy to start with, but I think it's those two just trying that little bit too hard where they want it to go from 0 to like 100 in 6 seconds as opposed to 0 to 60.
Yes.
Just easing into it, but getting a good pace. They tried to get just the full pace straight away, and there was a couple of minor things and everything like that. But if you're going to be really picky about it, but no, I know what you're saying. The pair of them, just especially Austin, was just proper into it. Which, if you'd been through what he'd been through leading into it, then if you as part of the story, then you would.
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
As we said, there's been 2 attempted murders in the build-up
exactly. He tried to run him over. He tried to fucking ambush him with like booby traps everywhere in his working environment. Fucking hell. So,
and then as a revenge, like you say, he drops him off a forklift.
He drops him off a forklift. So fucking hell. So yeah, there's just.
And they don't really do anything either, because you'd think still there'd be a lot of things where they're like sort of breaking the rules, even though they've got the Street Fight to come. They actually are having a genuine match,
a fight and a wrestling match, because Austin's working a body part in this. He's working the arm. I think he works the leg at some stage, and then Triple H starts to work Austin's leg. So
doesn't Austin hit like the single arm DDT and stuff? The arm
DDT
and stuff. It's like Jesus Christ. I don't remember Austin since probably WCW Austin dropping moves like that.
I think what he's basically doing what he said he's going to do. I'm going to break his spirit, but he's doing what Triple H said he was going to do to Austin.
Flipped it.
Yeah. He's pulling out all these fucking technical moves and shit.
Yeah. Have we got the ringmaster back?
That's who it is. Fucking hell. He's going to pull out $1 million dream. Fucking hell. So,
do you know what it is? It wouldn't have looked out of place.
It wouldn't have done. No,
had he have used that at some point in the match as a rest hold, that would not have looked out of place had he have used that. I think that
Buster as well. Is just...
I think that would have actually been a good little spot to have in there, actually, for him to use it. But, being picky here.
They're both loudly calling spots as well.
Yeah.
They're calling it all in the ring.
The old Botchamania, you talk too much. Would have had a field day had it have been around back then. They would have just had to play this whole match.
There's so much. Chuck a young fucking Cena into this match. Really loud spot calling. Fucking hell. There's a figure 4 that's slapped on Austin by Triple H as well.
Yeah.
The crowd are just like, woo, woo.
As you do, it is apparently the rule that if someone does that, then you have to yell it. Same as a shop. Yeah. Yeah. You contractually obliged once you bought that ticket to woo whenever those spots are in.
So then, finish of the match, Austin hits a stunner, basically. After, I think he tries a stunner first of all. Triple H reverses it into that neck breaker.
He reverses it again, doesn't he, I think?
Reverses it again. Tries it again. Hits a stunner for another time and then fucking wins the first fall.
Yeah, it was... I know he's hit his finisher, but you wouldn't have thought that would have been... Especially on a pay-per-view. Normally a finisher in a big match doesn't finish it.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a shock for that one, but it was a good way. And that first fall, for them to actually stick to how it was supposed to be, was actually a really good sell for it for me, I thought.
So as I said, going back to what the premise was, Triple H is under the assumption that Austin has no fucking technical knowledge at all, and he's just going to run rings around him with all his technical maneuvers and all his cerebral shit.
Well, even Jim Ross is selling that, isn't he? Going, well, nobody expected that. Everyone thought Triple H was going to win the first fall and everything because that was Triple H's wheelhouse and stuff, and Austin's was going to be the street fight, and then like you say, they just totally flipped it and thought, well, fuck you. How about Austin wins the first fall?
Absolutely. So, second fall is a street fight.
And it didn't take long for the blood to start then. It's just... I think it's Austin starts bleeding first. Because they just go, like, basically just pile outside straight away.
Yeah, they're beating the crap out of each other on the outside. Suplexes on the steel ramp. They're getting dragged around ringside. And
those suplexes sounded brutal as well.
They did sound fucking totally brutal.
So I think there's about 3 of them in a row, and none of them sounded pleasant at all.
Nope.
Even it was his feet first. The noise after his feet hit did not sound pleasant at all.
Nope. I think Austin hits Hunter in the head with a monitor. That's what it is.
Yes.
And that's when Hunter Blades is on the deck for too long with his hands too near his forehead. And he's cutting himself. He's got a bit of a blade.
A little bit of a boo-boo.
Yes, a gig. He's gigging himself.
Yeah.
There's claret everywhere.
Then we get ring bells.
Ring bells get chucked in the ring. Fucking chairs get chucked in the ring. Austin takes this chair off.
There was a fantastic bit. I don't think it was. I think Austin bleeds first, and it's because there's a barbed wire wrapped 2x4 by Jim Ross's feet, which the king yells at him, saying, "What you doing with that there?" or something.
Yes, he does. Did you hide that? Did you hide
that? And then later on, they go to the same spot, and then there's a sledgehammer there as well. And then so the king berates him again, saying, "It's just taking the mick now. You've got
You're hiding all these weapons, aren't you? Aren't you, JR?"
But yeah, it's just like sort of because obviously the sledgehammer is Triple H's thing, but there was no reason for them to have the barbed wire wrap too bad. But
no, Mick Foley wasn't on
the
show.
The only person who's allowed to have that is Mick. No, he was on an advert. He was on a terrible competition for the Fanatic adverts or something later on. Are you a fanatic? Mick Foley.
So who was that fucking barbed wire bat for? Or 2x4? Fucking hell. No reason for it to be there at all.
Unless Foley missed his cue.
There's a bit in this where Austin throws a chair into the ring, but it's not like a normal chair, and it goes into the ring and it carves up the canvas.
Yeah.
It kind of you just see it in the distance. It doesn't slide across the ring. It just goes and it cuts the canvas. And I've just remembered that now. Because in the main event, I think
you see it where he's getting pinned, where he's getting pinned.
Yes, I'm thinking, how the fuck did that happen? So
I was trying to, because I was looking at it thinking, I don't remember a spot where the canvas gets cut up or anything like that.
It's from that
chair. It's from that brutal padded chair or something like that.
It's from the brutal padded chair.
Yeah, with the horrible thingy sticking out of it, he just goes to slide it.
It just goes. It doesn't slide like the normal chairs just go, but this one just goes. It's like, oh fuck! So that's where it's come from. And you're right, yeah. Austin is the one who bleeds first because of the fucking the barbed wire.
Yeah,
fucking hell.
But no, there's a lot of weapons in this one.
There's a lot of weaponry being used in this. There's a lot of plunder, better. There's a lot of plunder. But there's no bicycles. He's got a bicycle.
I don't know if you're doing Dusty Rhodes or Chris Eubank now.
He's got a bicycle. It's Chris Eubank doing Dusty Rhodes.
The American Dream, Chris Eubank.
The American Dream, Chris Eubank.
Oh, fucking hell.
Austin, so on the announce table as well, Hunter's going to go for the pedigree on Austin.
Yeah.
But he gets flipped over onto the Spanish announce table, destroys the Spanish announce table.
You can see Hunter realizes in midair that he's not going far enough because he has to adjust himself, because otherwise he's gonna land on the upright part of the table and stuff.
Yeah.
And he manages to just sort of like sit up enough so that he sort of goes arse first through it, doesn't he? It misses that bit, but it's it doesn't have the full rotation on the back.
Rotate properly. It's fucking brutal.
Yes,
because he has to slightly go off towards the end instead of landing directly in the middle of it. He goes slightly off, and it's a worse bump than it would usually be.
Yeah,
oof, it's nasty. So you get so there's Austin's beating up. I'm sure he beats up Hunter with a beer can as well, or he has a beer can and he's
yes. So that was completely seamless. And
that's what you get on the underground.
Yeah.
Bowling shoe ugly, I'm afraid.
Oh yes, work calls galore.
Oh yes.
But yes, so that didn't happen. But anyways, so yes.
Brutal bumps, brutal chair shots from Austin to Hunter.
Chairs ripping up the canvas.
Hunter getting nailed in the head with the ring steps.
Yes.
Hunter's busted open at this point.
Yes. That was where his blade come into it.
That's where his blade come into it.
Then he hits a sledgehammer and then into the pedigree, if I remember rightly. Is that right?
That is correct. That's when he goes for the fucking hammer around the announce desk, and King's slagging off JR
again.
for hiding it.
JR's plunder store.
JR's plunder store, baby. It's plunder store. Oh. Gets the pedigree, 3 count. It's 1-1. So dun 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 dun. You get the cage music. Dun 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 dun. With all the weapons in the ring still as well.
Do you know what been the better payoff for that? The brutal blue cage.
Oh,
had we have had that cage, because that cage was violent. Any matches you see with that cage in, it looks like it hurts a hell of a lot more, because we've all bounced off one of those fences when we've had a drink. They don't hurt that much, but that blue cage back in the day, that was solid, and that looked as though that would even like just do running the ropes, and you'd hear them hitting that and stuff, and you'd see it, and you think that's gonna hurt. That's gotta hurt. That has. So I think that might have been a better payoff for it. But as you say, luckily all the weapons stayed in the ring.
All the weapons in the ring: the chairs, the barbed wire 2x4, the sledgehammer, and that chair that is still embedded in the canvas. That's still there.
Yeah.
That fucker's not moving.
Yes.
So at this point, they're both bleeding. It's just like, luckily, they're not bleeding into each other. And they haven't got like any blood diseases or anything.
Yeah.
So, and they're just flinging each other from pillar to post into the steel cage. Austin's getting his face raked with the barbed wire by Hunter. Hunter's a fucking vicious cunt at this point.
Yeah.
Just, the only way for Austin to get out of it is to get a chair and just whack.
Yes.
Clouds Hunter in the face with the chair.
At some point as well, I think it might have been during the street fight actually, which I forgot about. I've just remembered now when you said that about the chair. Is I'm sure Austin uses the WrestleMania 17 finish on Hunter, where he's just completely beating him with the chair, like he does to finish it off with the Rock, where he's just continuously beating him with the chair. I'm sure he does that for a 2 count on Hunter at some point.
He does, yes. He does.
Which I remembered from watching it, and then it just hit me there now when you said that brutal chair shot. It's like, hold on, he uses the Mania 17 finish halfway through the match. But
long time storytelling.
Yes.
Spooky Billy.
But yes, so as I said, the cage, it's standard cage now at this point. They're both fucked. You can see it has taken the toll, and it would do. Because I think when the cage comes down, we've got to be at the half-hour point on this match. Easy 30 minutes, yeah. It's got to be 15 minutes of fall, I think, at this point. So
they've slowed up. They're slowed up. They would.
Yes.
They're not. It's not like they're blowed up. They're not.
Yeah, but
they're in condition. They're still in good condition. And they're just fucking knackered because of the 2 matches that they're already been in, and they're losing blood as well.
Yeah,
but they still keep on going. Hunter even tries to escape the cage. Austin tries to follow him up there. He gets battered down.
Which at no point they didn't actually mention whether escape the cage was an option.
Yeah,
there was no mention of that during it. Whether so it's just like, so if he gets out, is he won? Because that's the normal cage rules. But they hadn't said whether or not it was just a cage to keep people out, or whether or not escape was an option. So it was just like, so like you say, when he was trying to do that, and again, they just continue to beat each other. It's basically the continuation of the street fight, because all they're doing is hitting each other with weapons most of the time.
Yeah.
But with a cage around, chucking each other into the cage now and then obviously by the end of it, we get that finish, and what a beautiful finish it was.
Yes, it is.
It's such a beautiful finish. It's a finish which isn't used very often, but when it is used perfectly, because it's a great way to put, because it was basically putting over a new top heel at the time, because Triple H wasn't the finished article then. He wasn't seen as the guy who was going to be the champion and stuff, but it was the perfect way to sort of crown him as a new top heel.
Yeah, I think at the time he was my favorite wrestler.
Because he had, I don't
between
think,
between
had
99 and 2001.
World champion at that point?
Yes, he had been.
He had.
Yeah.
But I don't think
at least 2 times, possibly. a good couple of times at least. And it was like that period of time where like the title had changed 50 times in 1 year, something ridiculous.
Yeah.
But this finish is absolutely spot on. You've got Austin with the barbed wire bat. You've got Hunter with the hammer, and they're just they're groggy. They've seen each other with weapons.
It's like the end of Rocky 3, isn't it, where they both meet each other, but then instead of it kept freezing to like sort of all go to that, they both just hit the mat, and Triple H just takes that little bit longer and just falls on top, lies on top of him and stuff.
1,
and it's just
2, 3, yes. Earl counts to 3, and it's all about the game and how you play it.
But it's momentum as well, because they played on it for a long time, I think, afterwards as well. And like sort of when they listed off his accolades and stuff, I remember Jim Ross always alluding to this, saying he's the man who beat Steve Austin twice in twice in a row or something.
Yeah.
In one night and everything like that. It was a massive deal, I think this was for him, for the payoff and everything. And it was a bit weird for Austin to lose, going with the fact that he was headlining Mania.
Yes.
It seemed a bit weird that, and it was just like sort of, especially what happens afterwards. Like you say, we'll keep going back to Mania because it was so close. It's like sort of, it makes you think about that one, because you think afterwards you've got Austin wins the main event, but then Triple H loses a nothing match to The Undertaker and everything. It's like, what was the point in that? Then surely the one thing with that match is have that at Mania. Imagine that match at Mania. It would not have looked out of place, especially at Mania 17. Because you could have had something good with Taker and Rock,
definitely,
and for the world title, or Kurt Angle and whoever. But no, it's just an unbelievable match. It's one of my all-time favorite ones. That one, in fairness, which I need to start watching more often, because it's just the storytelling, and it's amazing.
And then, as the cage goes up, some bastard in the crowd chucks a fucking beer can and it hits Austin square in the head. It's like, wow, what aim!
But it wakes him up, doesn't it? Doesn't he hit Triple H with a stunner or something after?
Yes, he does. Ah, shit, I forgot about that. Yeah. So like, oh, come on, you lost the match. You don't need to get your heat back. But decided to get his heat back by fucking hitting in a stunner on Triple H. It's like, okay, But fucking, that was a hell of a fucking match.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that.
And as I say, that match for me is the pay-per-view. That should have been your last match on the card. No offense to Rock and Angle, but that should have been your last match, because you're paying off your biggest storyline for almost 18 months.
Yeah,
and to put it in the middle of the card, I think was a bit of a nothing thing for it. That's the only thing I would say about it.
Yeah, I'm maybe they should have built it as like a double main event pay-per-view, and this would be the first half of the main event or some shit like that.
But if you look at the match, if you look at the matches, it's sandwiched between them. So what we got is it Trish and Steph.
Yeah, Trish and Steph, and then Stevie Richards.
And Stevie Richards against Jerry Lawler.
It is a very odd place.
It's one of those sandwiches where I'm picking the filling out. I know. I'm chucking the bread away.
Chucking the bread away as well. Fuck, you're left with no sandwich. What are you doing?
I'm just filling. That's fine with me. Because then, as we've just said there, the next thing we have is Right to Censor doing a lovely little pray.
Yep.
And Jerry Lawler against Steven Richards. And if Jerry wins, the cat gets naked because it's his wife and he doesn't see her enough naked at home. If Stevie Richards wins, she's got to join Right to Censor.
In real life, this was like her last match and his last appearance at the announce table for a while, because she got sacked and he followed her out the door.
Yeah, he kicked off about her being sacked or something, and he left. And my favourite part of the night was where we get the we get Taz at the announce table.
Yes.
And as anyone who watched the last one knows, I'm a massive, massive fan of Taz on announce.
Yes,
because
fucking awesome.
Oh, Taz is just But anyway, so
He
we
got
get
his
the
full
match.
entrance as well.
Yeah,
His full
went on for
smoke,
a while.
music. Yes, it was fucking
Yeah,
tremendous to see.
which is what you want for your commentator. The only one it works for was on Sunday night at AEW, and I noticed it when he had his own little thing on the Titantron was Jim effing Ross.
Tremendous,
which is great. But yeah, I mean, the less said about this match, the better. If I'm being honest, I can't try and sell it as something people should watch. If you're gonna watch this show, it's a good show. This is an ideal time not to bother pressing pause. Go make yourself something to eat. Go have a piss. Do whatever.
Easily
You're
skippable.
gonna miss nothing, and it's nothing against Stephen Richards. I was a big fan of his back in his ECW days. I loved the BWO, but no, God, I didn't need to see this again. It was just saying,
not missing a thing.
No, sorry. I'm trying to think of a positive thing from it, and the end.
It's King being very Memphis.
Yeah,
that's all it is. He's using his Memphis moves.
Yeah,
that's just his punches, 10 punches, his punch off the rope, pile driver as well. But it's just Teddy Long's about the most
as the referee. Teddy, I always forgot Teddy Long was a ref.
Teddy Long's in there.
The cat's there. The cat's there with a black robe thing on. And they're trying to claim she's naked and everything like that, and it's like, no, mate, believe me, if she's naked, you're seeing shit. So she was the kind of woman at the time who didn't give a fuck about a wardrobe malfunction. If you were going to see something, she'd have made sure you saw it.
Didn't that actually happen though? Was it the Royal Rumble 2000 where she actually showed her tits?
Did she show them? What didn't she have like a cling film bikini on or something like that? Sure. Where she was just wrapped.
Was it? Yeah. But you got the briefest glance. I remember this over and over and over again.
You kids don't know how lucky you are these days.
Oh dear.
Oh. At least it wasn't Mae Young.
Oh fuck. Oof. So yeah,
that one you did see.
That one, yeah, that was just nasty.
Yes, but anyway, so yes, as I said, yeah, Richards wins. Richards wins. I can't remember. Was it the women's title they used as a weapon?
Yes, they take
Ivory's women's title, which again, no disrespect to Ivory. Ivory, I thought was a great worker. I think she'd be fantastic nowadays. If Ivory in her prime back then, in this era, she'd be fantastic. She's a very good worker, but done nothing.
Yeah,
absolutely nothing in this match. And unfortunately,
they put Stacey in a fucking sack and just
the cat cat in a fucking sack. You've got the Godfather and Val Venus, a pimp and a porn star carrying her off. It's like, yeah. God, there's a fucking advert for sexual assault coming up if ever I've seen one. But no, because they've got the horrible fucking warning music bleating on in the background, which I'm sure is an iPhone alarm.
So anyway,
yes.
We get the next match.
Triple threat table match.
Triple threat table match. Fucking Edge and Christian, Taker and Kane versus the Dudleys. Another Michael Cole interview segment before that as well.
With Taker and Kane as well, the poor bastard. Anybody else he could have probably done a normal interview. But it's Taker and Kane going into a table match, which they were just like, we're being put here just to make up fucking numbers, aren't we? Just give with a night off. Because a triple threat match, if you substitute the Hardys with Taker and Kane, doesn't necessarily mean a good thing.
No.
It really doesn't work. I did like the build-up, though. The thing with Edge and Christian is the cowardly heels. Oh, they're messing with your bikes. Oh, can we get it? And we got the concertos and everything in the build-up to that. So, I love Edge and Christian. Love the Dudleys. Despite loving the Dudleys, hate table matches. Always hated table matches. I've just thought, no, it's just there's so much room for error. Just watch the Big Show against Cody Rhodes, where he falls off the apron and his foot goes through it, and it ends the match because they haven't got a choice. I just hate it. There's just so much room for error, and there's just no point in it. But that's my rant on tables matches over.
Some Big Show cry because of that as well in that match.
Yeah.
I'm imagining it's like, oh no.
Why do I think it's at Mania as well? Is it Mania?
I'm sure they had a match.
Big Show won at Mania because Cody kept saying about he was a failure in Mania. That was it. Kept saying, yeah. But I think it was maybe it's the next pay-per-view after.
Could be.
But no, yeah.
Pretty fucking decent match. You get take Dead Man Inc. or Brothers of Destruction. They enter first. Then Edge and Christian, who just wait in the middle of the entrance ramp.
Yeah.
Then you get the Dudleys, who are the champs, at the top of the ramp. Edge and Christian are just in the middle, just like, oh shit, we're stuck literally between a rock and a hard place, and then just
but then what they realise is there's a different direction other than up and down. We can just go to the side.
That is it. Yes.
This was the start of when Bubba used to wear the title around his neck as well.
Yes.
Which I love that. I still to this day love that when I see a champion with it round his neck. I think that looks sick. So I was a big fan of that. But then the start of the match, you've got Taker and Kane just killing everyone as you'd expect. Edge and Christian there just watching, which isn't safe to do considering if there's a table set up.
Yep.
And one of them goes through, the match is over, but they do that. Taker and Kane batter the Dudleys for a while. And then I'm trying to think what happened. There's something with a chase spot, I think it is, where I think Edge and Christian hit Taker and Kane with chase. They turn around and the Dudleys just hit them with two of the most disgusting headshots ever, and just puts them down. It's just like sort of shit. It just makes you think, oh, I'm glad there's not headshots now, because these were not pleasant headshots.
Nah. It's there's a table set up at ringside
at the bottom of the ramp.
Yeah, they're about to powerbomb Edge and Christian through the table, but then the Dudleys hit Taker and Kane in the back with a chair, and then headshots.
Then the headshots, and they're proper unprotected headshots as well. Yes. There's no hands up from Taker and Kane.
Nah, there's none of that shit.
It's full on the head.
Oh.
So then Edge and Christian get to have the thing then with the Dudleys, which realistically, if you've got that match in front of you, that's what I want to see.
Yeah,
I want to see those two teams going at it because, well, it's Edge and Christian and the Dudleys. Obviously, only apart from the Hardys missing from that, and it's the perfect match any night. Those three teams never had bad matches.
Edge and Christian can do anything. Well, they can all do anything in this match because there's no disqualification. So they're all just fucking shenanigans, low blows, hitting people with chairs,
concertos, yeah, everything.
All sorts of shenanigans going on. There's a what's up spot.
Yeah. Taker and Kane finally sort of get resuscitated on the outside.
Yes.
They come back in, and no sooner do they come back into the throw. Speaking of throws, we get Haku and Rikishi.
Yeah, what the fuck? Haku
what
and
a Rikishi. Team
that
would have been. I forgot they were short-lived team together for a little bit. I think they teamed up round about the Rumble time. And again, I don't remember there ever being a payoff from that, because obviously there was some sort of storyline going on that they were going to do with Taker and Kane and those two, because they come out and they just went straight for Taker and Kane and beat them up at the top of the ramp and stuff. Yeah. And Haku is just one of those bastards where you just don't fuck with him and stuff. He just looks amazing. Then it's when he's got the full Meng hair going on and everything like that as well, from his WCW days. Yeah,
it's fucking out here.
And Rikishi with him thankfully he's no longer doing it for The Rock, but he's doing it for somebody else now. And I think him and Haku could have been an amazing team. It could have been, looking now, watching them two come out, and especially them targeting Taker and Kane. I think they could have been proper, absolute monster heel tag team. But I think the only problem is they didn't fit in with how the tag team division was then, because the tag team division was the other three teams, the Hardys, the Dudleys, Edge and Christian, and it just didn't fit in with that. But certainly an 80s tag team. Oh God, what a team that would have been in the 80s. Never mind you, what was it? Haku and Barbarian and stuff. Haku and Rikishi in the would have been brutal.
Wasn't Haku in one of the games as well, like the SmackDown versus Raw? Or
probably he kept making he kept appearing now and then, didn't he? Like sort of between there and WCW, it'd be like he'd be on Raw for a few weeks and stuff, and then all of a sudden, Meng would be in a hardcore match trying to kill freaking Finley and Norman Smiley and everything.
So we get a sign in the crowd which says "Dead Man Walking," spelt DEDMAN, and then walk in, as in the fucking walk-in.
As in NHS as in a walk-in fridge.
Fucking hell. What?
In fairness, though, this pay-per-view is, by the way, in Vegas. So it's probably not the most intelligent crowd. I'm not going to lie.
Fucking hell.
And probably not the most sober.
No.
If you're drinking in Vegas. But I don't know the arena. I can't, like, sort of when they said the arena name and stuff. Because I know they've got the T-Mobile one now there, because I was in Vegas a few years back. And when they kept saying it and everything, I was just thinking, I don't remember seeing signs for that. So I'm assuming it's been one that's been pulled down now. But no, but yes, oh God, yeah. So anyway,
so
the bit more goes on. They've got them at the top of the ramp, and then I think Edge and Christian go for something, and then somehow or another it ends up, and we get a 3D on Christian through the table.
Yeah.
Dudley's retain. We go to WrestleMania 17, and the rest is history when we get that, obviously, TLC match.
Oh, yes.
We're selling No Way Out by 2001 No Way Out, not WrestleMania 17. Just saying. But it is the next one afterwards, so keep it playing afterwards. Because, yeah, the matches that you get from some of these, although not tied in, is a fantastic pay-per-view.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And then do we get The Rock? Is The Rock with Cole again? Is Michael Cole again with The Rock?
No.
Or is it The Rock?
Not. It just goes, I'm sure it just goes straight into the, there's another like WrestleMania 17 advert where everyone in the whole world is watching the TV at the exact same time.
But we're not on it.
No.
We're not on that advert. We're not.
We're not on it. Fuck.
Bastards. I'm sure there's a backstage interview with The Rock, but he doesn't say anything, or he says very little before the match, and then obviously you get the build up to it anyway, going into it.
Yes, there is. Yes. It's just like tick tock.
Yeah, because then you got the build up thing, because you had the whole thing where it was The Rock against Big Show to face Kurt Angle, but it was mentioned obviously how Kurt Angle had been champion. It was recaps to the Armageddon Hell in a Cell, how he'd survived that.
Yeah.
Just how he somehow kept the title and everything. Not alluding to the fact that he was fucking awesome, but just somehow he kept the title. And then him and The Rock done it, and The Rock beat the Big Show to become number one contender. And then, as I said, there was the whole where he kept going tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. And it's like sort of Angle just absolutely battered him pretty much every week, I think, on TV. With The Rock never on the recap package, there didn't seem to be much offense on any of the recaps of The Rock on Angle. It just always seemed to be Angle standing over The Rock at the end.
Yes.
And then it all starts. You get Angle out. Is it Angle out first?
Angle comes out first, and there's no "you suck" chance, and just like
no, it just doesn't sound right, does it?
It doesn't. But it's just like it's just weird. There's no "you suck" chance. It's just very strange.
listening back, it just sounds weird. The "You Suck" part is it's ingrained now with that entrance music.
And Kurt Angle has hair as well.
Yes.
This is where he had hair before he got it shaved.
Yes. Damn you, Edge. just because the man was balding and you weren't.
Yes. So straight off, Angle tries to hit fucking Rock. Tries to ambush him with the fucking title.
Yeah.
Rock's having fucking none of that.
Yeah.
Beats him in the shit out of him.
Even though normally that happens on the outside, this time it's like they're both in the ring. They probably there hasn't been a ring sound, but there should have been. And all of a sudden, Angle just decides he's going to go after him with the title. What were your thoughts on that title, anyway?
I love
the big title.
That title and I think that's a derivative of the Winged Eagle. Yeah, those are the best two looking titles, in my opinion.
Because then that was when they started then doing their own titles, wasn't it? Like there was the Brahma Bull one and the Smoking Skull.
Yeah.
But title and everything, but that belt, it just looks so good. But it's so synonymous with that era as well.
Yes.
With that era, you've got Triple H, Kurt Angle, Austin, Rock. That was their title.
Absolutely.
That's the title. As much as people say Triple H with the world title thing, that's Ric Flair's belt.
Yes.
That belt then, that era was those four. That was their belts.
Yeah.
And like you say, I loved that title. It looked amazing.
Absolutely spot on. God, I could not have put it even more better than you just did. Usual match between
Rock's awful punches. I hate the Rock punches. Oh my god! I love the Rock. I hate his punches. Sharpshooter. Those punches. But it was watching it back then. I think he must have been teaching Kurt Angle how to punch when they first started. When Kurt started coming in, because Kurt's throwing similar style punches, and they just look terrible. If I try to throw a punch like that in a fight in a pub, by the time my hand got up to somebody's face, I'd have been glassed in the face. I'd been put through a table, and my arm would sort of just be like they hanging sort of thing. It's just like they're just horrible.
They're not good. His sharpshooter just absolutely woeful as well. Fucking hell.
But we've got to be positive about it.
Yes,
we get multiple overhead belly to belly.
We certainly fucking do.
And they're proper overhead ones as well. They're like sort of Brock Lesnar style ones now. They like sort of proper flicking the hips and everything. Yeah, everything. And then you get the Rock doing one back. Not quite as good, but
effective enough. But
he tried.
Really good.
Yeah. He tried. And it's sort of there wasn't really in this match like sort of there's normally a formula to it, isn't it? Where babyface, heel, babyface. There wasn't that formula. I didn't find to it. And then sort of they kept having the back and forth. I think for a bit. Kurt tried to get an ankle lock on.
Yes.
Did injure the Rock a little bit in his ankle. You could see him trying to sell the ankle, and then randomly we get the Big Show.
Why? Why did we get the Big Show?
You've had your moment. You've already bastardized two people at least. You've beaten Raven. You've beaten Billy Gunn.
Yes.
No reason. Plus twatted a few other people on the road. You don't need to come out. He comes out and hits the most disgusting choke slam on the referee. That poor fucking Mike Chioda, I think it is.
It's Mike Chioda.
He hits him with a choke slam. And then I forgot how good, back in the day, how good Show's choke slam was for his size.
He's like 50 feet in the air, man.
Yeah, because it just does that nice little thing where he cups their arse and pushes them up that little bit further so he can hold them there longer. And then down on the knees to proper amplify them slamming. And he hits that on all three of them, including the referee.
The poor ref.
And then he leaves. And then it gets even worse for the ref because I think Kurt Angle crawls in for a cover. Chioda's being assisted by Earl Hebner and fucking
this is funny.
Timmy White. And they're assessing them out. Get to the bottom of the ramp. Earl Hebner turns around, sees a cover, and drops Mike Chioda to make the throw, try and make a count. And I was just thinking, come on.
That's tremendous.
There's just... Poor fuckers just been killed. And then he kicks out, which I will say The Rock and Kurt are two of the best at that. The false finish, the 2 count.
This
They're
fucking
2
count.
counts.
Oh no. I've just remembered it's this match. Fucking hell.
It is this match. We'll get to it, don't worry. We get to it. But up until that point, during the match, the false finishes, the kickouts are timed perfectly throughout this. And then Earl goes back to give him another hand. To try and help pick him up. It's like, leave him alone.
What are you doing?
And The Rock, the babyface, goes out and gets the title belt and twats Kurt Angle with the belt. It's like, no, you're the face, mate. You're not meant to do shit like that. It's like, if you get it when he's trying to hit you, then it's allowed, but you don't go to get it. It's like, it's how it works in that. The babyface doesn't go to get the weapons.
You don't get the fucking weapon, man. Fuck.
So he hits him with that. Earl comes back in and decides he's going to finish the match.
After dropping poor Mike Chioda. Oh, that was hilarious.
But yeah, no, that drop on Chioda is fucking beautiful.
You see him fall.
Funny.
You see him legit fall.
Yeah, it's just like legitimately just like sort of like, oh shit. Where's he gone?
He just drops out of view.
It's comic. It is comical. I loved it. So then we get it, and Kurt blatantly in front of him removes the turnbuckle covering.
Yes. Yep.
And it's like, well, hold on, it's a DQ. He's not even trying to hide it. He's just literally. Earl Hebner's there telling him off, go, don't do it. And he's like, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And he just does it. And it's like, well, hold on, that's a DQ.
Well, it's an admonishment at best. I wouldn't say it's a DQ, so unless he's going to deliberately ram the motherfucker's head into the fucking.
Which he does 30 seconds later.
So that's a fucking DQ, yeah.
So it goes on. So we've got that.
Yeah, that's a fucking DQ. That
he whips. I think he whips him into its chest first, hits the angle slam.
Yeah.
And The Rock does one of his best kickouts ever, as I say. That one from that near fall, The Rock's kick out is amazing. He sells it perfectly, especially as you think it's one arm coming up, it's the other one that actually pops up, which blew my mind. It's like, how's he done that? Everything you think it's his right shoulder, his left one pops up. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then we have a bit more where Angle gets him in the ankle lock for about a minute. And it's about a minute, and he's
too proper... long. If you were really in that, you wouldn't last long. You'd tap straight away.
But he's berating him as well, like sort of on the network.
I'll
like,
break your fucking ankle.
Yeah, there's genuine bleeps on the network from where he's just berating him so much. I'm gonna break your fucking ankle.
I'll break your fucking ankle. Yeah. He's drooling.
Taz is there selling it. I forgot Taz's best moment, by the way, during this match. There was a moment where Kurt Angle throws The Rock out of the ring. Taz goes, why would he do that? Surely he wants to beat him in a wrestling match. And Jim Ross goes, well, if he's counted out, he retains the title. Yeah, it's a good point, that, Jim. It's a good point. It's like, for fuck's sake. You were a world champion. You were a heel world champion. Come on. But then, obviously, then it goes in, and I think then Angle hits the turnbuckle.
Yes.
And he gets hit with a spine buster and the people's elbow. We have deliberately skipped the sharpshooter a bit because
it's shit.
Yeah, it's a Rock sharpshooter. He hits the people's elbow. Kicks out, and then we have a bit more. The Rock hits a rock bottom,
and the rest. And
then, I think Earl forgets to finish.
Yeah, there's no other explanation for it.
It's got to be in that Earl forgot to finish, because there's no attempt to kick out from Kurt. Rock doesn't know what's going on.
That or Kurt maybe forgot to kick out, was it? I don't know. It's just a fuck.
No, because the only thing I can think is that the only reason I can think that it was to do with Earl Hebner forgetting it is because when the next one goes, when he hits him with the next one, he just hits him with a 3, because Kurt makes no attempts to kick out the first one.
Yes. Yeah,
so I'm my blame is squarely on Earl Hebner on this one. I may be wrong. If it is, fair enough. But I'm blaming him for that. I think he's bolted up. But then, like you say, Rock then just picks him up and just hits another rock bottom like with a receipt.
He just looks at Earl and says, "Makes the fucking count."
Yeah.
We get
the 3 counts, and then we've got the Rock setting up, obviously, what becomes Austin versus the Rock at Mania 17 for the title.
Yes.
Rock wins clean-ish.
What was the sign that you'd seen? You said,
the Flintstones one.
Oh,
the love of the Flintstones, Viva Rock Vegas, where somebody obviously was looking through the hotel porn channels and happened to flick across this one, going, "Oh, this isn't porn," but that'll do for a sign.
Fucking hell.
Yes. Yeah, Viva Rock Vegas, and then we've got
Vegas.
the Rock in the ring, and then you've got basically Jim Ross and Taz just saying, obviously that's it all set up. We get no finish sort of try and set up to go into that, like sort of maybe it's because Austin lost, but he got his heat back, so he could have come back out there, and we could have had the first, like sort of just the stare off or something like that to close the show. But I mean, overall, like I say, if you skip right a sense the Stevie Richards, Jerry Lawler thing, as I said, even Trish Steph's watchable. Most of the show is a very good show, and as I say, there's a couple of little hidden gems in there as well. Like I say, the fatal four-way for the IC title is go out your way to try and watch that one, and then try and watch more X-Pac stuff now.
Yes.
If you did hate him as a younger person, go back and watch him now, and you'll appreciate how good he was. Because that's one thing about going back now, doing these things that we're doing. And watching the older shows, a lot of the time during the Attitude Era as well, it's seeing just how fucking good he was, because the man can go.
Yeah, I think it's pretty. You don't realize, or probably didn't realize then, because the focus was more on these bigger guys and these bigger lumbering dudes.
Yeah,
instead of this little high flying kind of a guy.
Yeah, who was never really put into the cruiserweight or anything like that. He was always there. He was always put there to sell and put people over and stuff like that. But maybe he could do that job perfectly. But when you also put him in there with people who he was of a similar stature to, he could fucking go. Like I say, those three with 3 of the best of a similar size to him that he could be put in with. So yes, go back and watch that. The show, and obviously watch the 3 stages from Hell match. We didn't do it justice because it's a good 45-minute match, but it doesn't feel like 45 minutes. It really doesn't feel as though it goes on as long as it does, because there isn't much stop, there isn't much break in it. Even between the falls, it quite quickly goes into the next one straight away. So, but yeah, what a show it is.
Absolutely. Right, we'll call a halt the underground.
Aye.
Plug your socials if you have any socials.
Yes,
I know you do have socials.
It is at Mr. Mick Ego on Twitter and Instagram, and Mick Connolly on Facebook. You'll normally see me posting random shit in the Whittle Left Side group, like me Sting one today.
I'll have to have a look at that one. You can find me on Facebook now again, unless they ban me for some stupid reason. You find me on Twitter at Yardy316. Follow Work the Left Side on Facebook. Follow Nick on Twitter as well. He's got a new Twitter account.
I was just going to say, do we know Twitter's his new Twitter?
I can't even remember what his new Twitter account is. Fuck. Oops.
Sorry, Nick. Happy birthday.
Follow James as well.
James, a hard cam. Just remember,
hard cam. Yeah.
Remember though, once you get a hard C, don't stop looking, because he will find him eventually.
Yes. We've been the underground.
Yes.
And
we'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon.
Ta-ra, people.
Bye. Oh, that was good.
Yeah, it was a good laugh.